Here is a 2023 Lexus RX 350 luxury in imitated white over black leather suede interior. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to explain this fully redesigned vehicle. 2.4 inches longer in wheelbase, but the same length as the prior gen. This is the 5th generation for the RX. You're losing 20 horsepower from that V6 engine from last gen, and 50 pound-feet of torque you're gaining. The reinterpreted spindle grille starts off the appearance for the new RX with jewel-like bi-LED headlamp assembly. Goes into the grille. It is a little bit more to swallow because it's not fully open for air to go into the Turbo 4. It's more of an aesthetic look, which looks similar to the RZ, which is a fully electric vehicle, so you wouldn't have the openings. The air curtain will also have the LED fog lamps and cornering lights. Same clearance as the last gen at 8.1 inches, but this year we have an F Sport, and it's going to have over 360 horsepower, 0 to 60 at 5.9 seconds for the RX. That's kind of unheard of because this has been a sleeper ever since it came out. And now for the 5th gen, we're finally getting a little bit more dynamics. It will also add adaptive dampers and the advanced 4 all-wheel drive system. Standard is a 19-inch 5-spoke alloy wheel with dark gray and machine finish. We have the upgraded 21-inch 20-spoke alloy wheels with the premium dark metallic finish. No more V6 underneath here. It's a inline turbo 4 2.4 liter with 275 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, but you're achieving 22 mpgs for the city and 29 mpgs for the highway, which is an increase over the prior gen. Standard setup for your suspension, which will be an independent McPherson strut with coil springs, sway valve, shock absorbers, and a stabilizer bar. The rear will be a multi-link suspension. Even though we've increased in the wheelbase by 2.4 inches, it's still at the same 192.5 inches long. Chrome surrounds more or less all the window trims, except for in the back where it just kind of slopes into the gloss black for the lower roof spoiler. Cleaning everything up, that's what Lexus has done, because now your windshield wiper is going to be tucked underneath here. The Lexus badging over the LED blade tail lights. The satin aluminum goes into the middle with more matte black, but the lower reflectors is where the exhaust pipes are tucked underneath. Power liftgate going into 29.6 cubic feet. We have the privacy cover, 12 volt. Underneath the floor, a spare tire with a storage tray. Split fold the rear bench. In the back, at a 40-60 split, does take a little bit of time because it is electronic, but once it goes down, that increases the cargo to 46.2 cubic feet. The entrance is wider and a little bit more coupe design. Let's go inside, start up this Turbo 4 so you can hear that exhaust note. Standard 8.9-inch screen will be for the base. Because this is the luxury, we're getting the 14-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio, Wi-Fi hotspot, voice recognition. Put it into reverse. We have a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear, and the lines expand out. You can also take the lines off and change the camera layout. Go into bird's eye view. dual climate control settings, and everything is derived through the touchscreen, but you do have physical knobs for the volume to turn on and off the stereo and to adjust the climate control. The whole interior has been reworked, so it has a two-tier dash layout. The air vents on the side get the wood that run into them with the satin aluminum, and on the center you'll see the satin aluminum carrying on to the gloss black for the driver's side with a digital gauge reader that can go through an array of information for the driver. 10-inch heads-up display, which you cannot get on the base, which will show you all of your information to make it easier for you when you're driving. Leather wrap, 3-spoke steering wheel, multi-function adaptive cruise control lane keep assist with the paddle shifters that are plastic and not aluminum. Slide the wood open to a wireless charging pad, some more USBs and another storage pocket, leather around the shifter, and the key fob for the new RX. It's going to be soft with the wood around the shifter. This opens up as 2 tiers, so one for the driver and one for the passenger. It's pretty deep storage pocket. The door panels integrate with the suede inserts that wrap into the dashboard. Electronic opening or pull it twice to open. It's going to be soft pretty much everywhere except for right here. One touch up and down for all your windows. A large storage pocket with a beverage holder in the front. Standard 12 speaker setup with an optional 21 speaker that has 1800 watts through Mark Livingston. That is an option for the luxury. Headroom is at 38.6 inches. You'll lose an inch when you have this pano moonroof. Leg space is going to be 41.4 inches. The footwell is large and wide, so you have plenty of room for a long journey for the front occupants. Digital rear view mirror and a large pano moonroof that goes all the way to the back seats. Two-way power adjustments for the rear occupants. Going in, leg space, 37.4 inches. It's nearly a flat floor. Headroom is at 38.5 inches. It's about 0.4 inch difference depending on whether you get a moonroof or not. Cup holders and a storage area in the center. Third climate control setting, heated, ventilated rear seats with USB ports, air vents, and storage behind both of the front seats. The Ultra Suede comes into the back, and we have the manual sunshades. One touch up and down for the windows, soft where it needs to be, more everyday where it also needs to be. A large storage pocket with an area you can fit a couple beverages. Sitting into the center, because it's not flat, you will be sharing feet space, but the rails are pushed up, so you do have a substantial room in the well area. Butt space will be shared as well as shoulder space. Headroom, it's still pretty desirable for somebody sitting into the center, depending on how you adjust these rear seats. Hey Lexus.
How can I help you?
Turn up the air condition.
Setting the driver's temperature to 70 degrees.
7.60 to 60. 5.9 for the F Sport. Let's see what this thing has underneath this Turbo 4. It's a fun little drive. It feels a lot more athletic than the prior gen. It doesn't feel like it's all over the place. So I do like how the new gen has fixed some of the maneuverability, because before it just kind of felt like it was a box on wheels. Here, if you need to give it a little go, you can. The weight distribution is not that close to 50-50, but it still has a little bit more dynamics. It's still a little bit slower than some of the rivals, but it's a lot faster than the prior gen, and it feels that way too. The interior feels more luxurious, and you still have that cruise, butter smooth suspension drive, which is what everybody likes about the RX. 275 horsepower, 317 pound-feet of torque, Turbo 4 again. It gets a little wheel happy. But that's going to take me to some things I like and dislike, and starting off with the pros about the all-new RX. You still receive that butter smooth drive, updated technology, which includes the new safety sense that takes care of semi-autonomous driving. So you're at the next generation. You have advanced technology for your infotainment screen, so you could say, hey Lexus, which puts it right on point to the German rivals or even the Japanese rivals. The interior feels more luxurious. The layout to it is a lot more airy and open. You still have great clearance. The towing hasn't decreased or increased, so that's okay there. And I like the ultra suede. Some things I dislike: you have to option the wireless charging when you go into the base trim. But because you can option it, I don't mind that so much. It just, once you get an all new design, these are things that the buyers are really looking to buy with it. The next thing that I dislike about the vehicle is the center cluster here that opens up, because you would think it would open up in the center. I like the Lexus design that it's a his or her, meaning it opens on the driver or passenger side. However, you have to kind of go back, and if you're shorter, you're going to really have to go back. Everyday drive, going to put it into normal. You will be hitting a higher RPM to get the vehicle motivated. So I don't necessarily like that, but we have increased in-curb weight just a touch over the prior gen. It would be nice to have a pass-through, because a lot of the refresh vehicles now have pass-throughs for this center area. But you do have a sufficient amount of storage cubbies. The air vents, the way they are in the center, is a little unique. It does take a little bit to get used to at the beginning because they're so low, and that's derived because of this huge screen. I don't like that it's app driven, in the sense that you have to pay for the applications, in which a lot of the stuff is stationed in here, but we do still have physical buttons, so that is something that takes care of that. For maneuverability, if you need to get in and out of lanes, the steering is a little bit more artificial, so it does move in and out pretty quickly. And to give you some brake checks, it still grabs just like the prior gen. I put it in eco mode. We're going to check the turn radius, trying to do it as close to a stop as possible. You're going to receive about 2 lanes, which is normal for this size of a vehicle. And really with the modes, I would say the sport is just really going to escalate the RPM more so. Putting it into any of the other modes is going to go by your driving habits. So it doesn't do anything that it really puts a lot of weight to the pedal, but the sport does open it up a little bit more so whenever you push down on it. Looking at this from the last gen, there was some things I liked a little bit more so on the last gen. The styling for the front, it looked a little bit more purposeful. This is just more stylish. You still can get an optional hybrid in the F Sport, which has nothing but power. 366 horsepower, 5.9 seconds 0 to 60. No one would have thought that the RX would have done something like that. And when we get our hands on one, we will post a review on it, because that's definitely an exciting vehicle. Just kind of lifts you up. You feel kind of like, I hate to say a boat, because this is still a lot more dynamic than the prior gen, but the way it just picks you up because of the increased curb weight. Going against the Germans, whether BMW or Mercedes, for the price point, you're getting great value. But if you're wanting the performance, it's still not there unless you go into the F Sport. Going against Acura or Infiniti, I am a big fan of the QX50. I don't like the CVT transmission, so I would option this over that. And if it's against the Acura, the RDX is going to be too small. The MDX, you got third row. But if you're looking for just a 2-row variant, this is great. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise website, Instagram, leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Lexus Wesley Chapel for giving us this redesigned 2023 Lexus RX 350 for our car review.